Dear ladies and gentlemen, today I came to speak to the ones who have been through something. You've cried in silence, you've prayed through pain, you've survived nights that nearly broke you. And maybe, just maybe, you've been trying to hide the marks, the emotional, spiritual, and even physical scars that remind you of what you had to walk through. But let me say this loud and clear. Your scars are not signs of shame. They are symbols of strength. Scars don't say, "I lost." They say, "I made it." You see, healing doesn't mean erasing what happened. Healing means learning how to walk again with a limp. And every time you look at the scar, it's not there to haunt you, it's there to honor your resilience. The scar isn't the enemy. The scar is the evidence that the wound closed, that what was meant to kill you didn't finish the job. I know some of you have been praying for God to take the memory away, but sometimes God doesn't erase the memory because the memory is your ministry. What nearly crushed you becomes what calls others out of their darkness. You didn't survive for silence, you survived to speak. You survived rejection, you survived loss, you survived abuse, you survived depression. And now you walk, not in pity, but in power. Your scars preach a louder sermon than your perfection ever could. So stop covering up what God is trying to use. Stop being ashamed of what He already redeemed. The enemy wants you to feel weak for still feeling it, but heaven is applauding you for still standing through it. Your scar is the testimony that hell lost and grace won. 10 key points from the speech. A scar means the wound is closed. It's evidence of healing, not hurt. Scars speak to your survival. You are still standing for a reason. You don't have to be ashamed of what God already redeemed. The pain that tried to destroy you is now your platform of power. God doesn't always erase the memory because your survival story brings hope to others. Perfection isn't relatable, but scars are. Your scars show that the battle was real, but the enemy didn't win. Hiding your scars hides the glory of God's restoration. What tried to define you failed. Your identity is in your endurance, not your injury. Scars are proof that grace is greater than the grave you thought you'd never escape. Certainly. Here's the *** long form expansion *** of ***. Key point 1. A scar means the wound is closed. It's evidence of healing, not hurt. ***. Written in the bold, emotional, and spiritually charged style of Stephen Furtick without mentioning him, and *** without subtitle or conclusion. ***. When you see a scar, don't confuse it with the wound. The wound was painful. The wound bled. The wound kept you up at night, made you question your worth, made you cry out for answers. But the scar is different. The scar means it's over. The scar means it closed. It didn't close instantly. It took time, it took silence, it took faith. It took walking through days where it still hurt to breathe. But the scar is a sign that the bleeding stopped, the infection didn't win, and the healing * worked. Too many people keep touching scars like they're still open. They relive the story, rehearse the shame, reopen what God already sealed. But God didn't leave the scar to haunt you. He left it to remind you. It's the mark of survival. It's the receipt that you came through something most people would have collapsed under. It's proof that you're not still broken. You're rebuilt. Yes, it hurt. Yes, you felt like giving up. Yes, there were days when your strength was gone, and all you had left was tears and barely enough breath to whisper, "God, help me." And still here you are, scarred but not stuck. Marked but not missing. You don't have to pretend the wound never existed. You just don't have to live like it's still bleeding. That scar on your life isn't there to shame you. It's there to testify. That scar means there was a fight, and you stayed in it. It means there was a break, and it got healed. It means you hit rock bottom, and grace built something stronger there. You're not bleeding anymore. You're walking with a memory that doesn't control you. That's healing, so don't hide the scar. Don't cover it up to make others comfortable, because someone is watching you, wondering if healing is even possible. Someone is stuck in their own wound, and they need to see your scar to know they can survive it too. They don't need to see perfect skin, they need to see the mark where healing happened. It's easy to act strong and pretend you were never hurt, but it takes asterisk true strength asterisk to say, this was the wound and this is the scar, and I thank God for both. The wound built your compassion. The scar built your courage, and now you walk not in pain, but in the asterisk proof asterisk that healing came, certainly. Here's the asterisk asterisk expanded version of key point 2. Scars speak to your survival. You are still standing for a reason, asterisk asterisk, written in the emotionally bold, uplifting style of Stephen Furtick without mentioning him, and asterisk asterisk without a subtitle or conclusion, asterisk asterisk. You didn't just make it through something. You survived something that was designed to take you out. And your scars are telling the story, even if your mouth hasn't yet. Every scar you carry is like a signature from God, a stamp that says, they didn't break, they didn't quit, they lived through it. You see, survival isn't just about breathing. Survival is about not letting what happened destroy the core of who you are. It's about getting up after the betrayal. It's about facing the mirror after the rejection. It's about still choosing to believe in hope, even when disappointment knocked the breath out of your lungs. Your scars say, yes, I was hit. Yes, I bled. Yes, I hurt, but I asterisk healed. Asterisk, I'm still standing. You are not still here by accident. The fact that you're standing, the fact that you're breathing is not luck. It's not coincidence. It's not even just resilience. It's purpose. You are here because what was meant to bury you didn't have the final word. That depression didn't get the last say. That anxiety didn't chain you forever. That divorce didn't define your destiny. That failure wasn't fatal. That abuse didn't end your ability to rise again. You may have walked through hell, but you didn't stay there. You've got fire on your back, but you've also got light in your eyes. And every day you choose to keep going, you're walking proof that survival is more than just existing. It's living through pain without losing your soul in the process. When you stand in front of people with your scars exposed, you're declaring something without saying a word. You're declaring that healing is possible. You're declaring that survival is a gift. You're declaring that your past has no power over your future. And whether people applaud it or not, whether they see it or not, heaven recognizes the weight you've carried and the ground you've covered. You didn't survive for survival's sake. You survived because there's more for you to do. More purpose to walk in, more people to reach, more mountains to climb. You are still standing because your story isn't finished, and your scars are proof that nothing the enemy threw at you was strong enough to take you out. So don't just wear your scars asterisk, walk in them, asterisk, because they carry the message. I'm still here and I'm not done yet, certainly. Here's the asterisk asterisk expanded version of key point 3. Scars are not signs of weakness, they are signs of war, and you won. Asterisk asterisk, written in the powerful, emotionally raw style inspired by Stephen Furtick without mentioning him, and asterisk asterisk without subtitle or conclusion asterisk asterisk. Too many people look at their scars and feel shame. They try to cover them, hide them, edit them out of their story like they're something to be embarrassed about. But if the scar is there, that means the battle happened, and more importantly, it means you asterisk survived asterisk it. A scar is not weakness. A scar is asterisk evidence asterisk that you stood toe-to-toe. Oh, with something meant to destroy you and it didn't win. You didn't fold, you didn't run, you didn't stay down, you may have cried. You may have crawled, but you didn't give up. That moment you wanted to quit when your heart was broken, your soul was tired, and the voices in your head were louder than truth that was war. That was the fight of your life. And your scar is the medal, that's the mark of victory. See, weakness says I can't take this. But strength says, even though I asterisk couldn't asterisk take it, I asterisk trusted asterisk through it. You kept showing up when you felt invisible. You kept praying when nothing was changing. You kept serving when no one said thank you. You kept loving when all you received was loss. That's war. That's the kind of quiet, invisible, spiritual warfare nobody applauds but heaven asterisk records. Asterisk that scar you carry. It didn't come from defeat. It came from the moment you decided not to let the darkness have the final word. You made a choice not to let fear lock you in place. You made a decision to rise again, not because it was easy, but because you knew deep down, asterisk, God wasn't done with you yet. Asterisk, so you kept moving, and now you've got the mark to prove it. There's a story behind your scars. There's power in them. You didn't get that scar because you were weak, you got it because you were strong enough to fight through something that tried to steal your mind, your faith, your peace. And if anyone questions it, tell them, this is where I won, right here where it hurt, where I almost let go, but I didn't, and this is the proof. You may not have walked out of the battle with clean clothes or a smooth stride. You may have limped, you may have wept, but you walked out. And now the scar is what you carry, not as a burden, but as a badge. You won. And every time you look at that scar, remind yourself, this didn't break me, this built me, of course. Here's the expanded version of key point 4. We try to hide our scars, but they are the very proof that God never left. Written in a bold, heartfelt style inspired by Stephen Furtick without mentioning him, and without subtitle or conclusion. We live in a culture that teaches us to cover up what hurts, filter it, edit it, smile over it. We're told that people only want to see the healed version of us, the strong, successful, shiny version, so we learn to hide our scars. Not because we're ashamed of the story, but because we're afraid of what the world might say when they see the pain behind it. But the truth is, those scars are not just remnants of pain. They're reminders of presence, not your presence in the pain, but God's . Every scar on your life carries a silent sentence. I didn't walk through that valley alone. You may have cried yourself to sleep, but God was right there whispering, you will not break here. You may have begged for the pain to stop, but His grace covered you like armor. Even when you couldn't feel Him, He was holding you together from the inside out. Your scars are evidence that His hand never let go. That car crash you walked away from, that season of depression you thought would never lift, that betrayal that ripped your heart in half, that diagnosis that made your world spin, that mistake you made that should have destroyed everything, and yet you're still here. Not because you had the strength, but because God had the faithfulness. When you look at your scars, don't see abandonment, see protection, see provision, see patience. That scar didn't appear because God forgot you, it appeared because He rescued you. You didn't avoid the storm, but you survived it, and that survival is not a reflection of your ability, it's a reflection of His mercy. We often ask, where was God when I was hurting? But the scar is the answer. The scar says, I was there, right in the middle of it, shielding what you didn't even know was being attacked, saving what you thought was lost, strengthening what you didn't know would be needed for your future. You wanted deliverance, but He gave you development. You prayed for rescue, but He gave you resilience. And what the enemy hoped would be a symbol of defeat, God turned into a sign of His faithfulness. The wound was the moment it got dark, but the scar is proof that light returned. The wound was the scream, but the scar is the silence that came after the peace that followed the chaos. The wound was the breaking, but the scar is the building. It's the unspoken evidence that your story didn't stop there. So maybe you don't need to keep hiding your scars. Maybe they aren't your shame, maybe they are your sermon. Because when people see what tried to kill you, but couldn't, they won't just see you. They'll see the God who stood with you in the fire, who walked with you through the flood, and who brought you out stronger than you went in. Absolutely. Here's the expanded version of key point 5. Every scar carries a story, but not every story ends in defeat. Written in the impactful, emotionally raw style of Stephen Furtick without naming him, and without subtitle or conclusion. Some of the most powerful stories you'll ever hear don't start with success, they start with struggle. They start in the dirt, not the spotlight, and the truth is, everyone has a scar that tells a story. Some are visible on our skin, others are hidden deep in our hearts, buried behind years of silence and smiles. But scars are sacred not because they show where we've been hurt, but because they reveal how far we've come. There's a dangerous belief we often carry that if we've been wounded, we must have lost. That pain is proof of failure. That if we were stronger, smarter, more faithful, we wouldn't have gone through what we did. But that's a lie. Because some of the strongest people you'll ever meet are carrying the deepest scars, and yet they're still standing. Not because the story went perfectly, but because it didn't destroy them. Just because you've been through heartbreak doesn't mean you're broken. Just because you lost someone doesn't mean you lost yourself. Just because you faced a storm doesn't mean the storm won. Your scars may speak of what you've been through, but they do not decide where you're going. They are not the period at the end of your story, they're just a pause. They're the turning point where pain met purpose, where struggle met strength, and where God showed you that this story wasn't going to end in pity, but in praise. People may judge you by your scars. They may look at your past and assume they know how your story ends, but they don't know what God is still writing. They don't see the comeback He's preparing. They don't hear the roar rising inside you while they're still reading your last chapter. Just because it's been hard doesn't mean it's over. Scars are the evidence that something tried to destroy you and failed. You may not have chosen the pain, but you get to choose what happens next. You get to stand up in the middle of that pain and declare, "This isn't the end of me. This is the beginning of something deeper, stronger, and greater than I've ever known." You get to take the very thing that wounded you and turn it into the weapon you fight with, not to hurt others, but to remind yourself that you were made to rise. Because when you walk into your future carrying your scars with confidence, you're not announcing your defeat. You're declaring that God was faithful. You're showing the world that even the ugliest chapters of your life can be used to build something beautiful. The scar is not a trophy of tragedy, it's a testimony of triumph.